जय जय राम, जय जय राम, जय जय राम, जय जय
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we'll chant chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, verses 11 to 20.
सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणामशमस्पृहा रजस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च प्रमादो मोह एव च तमस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम् रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम् सत्त्वात् सञ्जायते ज्ञानं रजसो लोभ एव च प्रमादमोहौ तमसः भवतो ज्ञानमेव च ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्ताः मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति गुणानेतानतीत्यत्रीन् देही देहसमुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैः विमुक्तो मृतमश्नुते।
So we've been studying about how there are the three gunas, and the three gunas predominate. I mean, at any given time, one is more than the others in our personality. So when sattva predominates, then there is light, there is knowledge, there is happiness. When the light of wisdom streams forth through all the gates of the body. All the gates of the body means perceptions, actions, emotions, and thoughts. Perceptions are very observant, very keen, or very disciplined. Because remember, the other word for perceptions is
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
thank God, some continuity from last time. Okay, very good. So enjoyment. So when you're enjoying something, or you're not enjoying it, you are being disciplined about it. Just because you enjoy it, you do lots and lots. Just because you don't like it, you run away from it. You don't do all these things. That's not graceful living. That's not sattvic living. So perceptions are very keen, right? Even your enjoyments are keen in the sense that a person when he's a sattvic person enjoying something, he's entirely mentally present over there. So it's a very distinct experience. Unlike us, ye thoda kar rahe, wo thoda kar rahe. The mind is all bicrophied. It's all distracted. It's not all focused on one thing. So when you are listening to the class, you're only listening to the class. You're not reading it. When you're eating your food, you're only eating your food. You're not doing anything else. When you are, I don't know, talking to somebody, you're only talking to that person. You're not doing anything else. There was this very famous, funny WhatsApp message that came. Message means one of these memes. So it said, a girl is telling her mother, today a few of us are meeting this evening to stare at our phones together. This everyone, they meet, they're meeting, all of the family has come together, friends have come together, each one on their phone. Then why don't you stay at home? The thing is, this ability to just do whatever you're doing and nothing else. Wisdom streams forth from the gates of the body in terms of perceptions. So your perceptions are very keen, very sharp. That means your enjoyment is also that much sharper, right? So if a sattvic person eats a laddu, he will enjoy it a lot more than if a rajasic person eats the laddu. The sattvic person will eat the laddu in a disciplined way. Right amount at the right time, in the right manner. Having seen that everybody has got their share of laddus, whole thing properly. The rajasic person was, I want more, I want more. So there's no real enjoyment taking place there. It's just living in your head. Mamita. Question. Possessiveness is the outcome of true love and anger is the outcome of real care. So accept both when it comes to your true ones. How do we address this idea from the point of view of Vedanta? Little late, Mamita. Possessiveness is the outcome of true love and anger is the outcome of real care. So accept both when it comes to your true ones. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Disagree. Okay. Agree or disagree?
I can see the point of view of the person stating it and empathize with where they're coming from, but I can't agree with it.
Right. I'm sure everybody feels the same way. That somehow it is true, but basically it is false. So, does anyone have any resolution of this? You hear it all the time, no? That only if you love the person, that person can agitate you, otherwise he can't, and you experienced it yourself. Your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your mother, your father will agitate you more than everybody else put together. So, how do you resolve this? It's a conundrum. It seems like a conundrum. It seems like, though this is something we experience, it is not something that Vedanta says happens. So, this cannot ever happen in this world, that your experience is different and Vedanta is different. That can't happen. So, how do you resolve this? It's a good time to bring up this question because we are in the midst of this discussion. What? Nobody has anything to say? Chalo then. Think of it like this. When you are in the state of tamas and you are indifferent to everything and everybody, whatever that person does or doesn't say, it doesn't matter to you because you don't care. You simply don't care. When you come to the state of rajas and that person matters to you, now you start getting possessive, you start getting anger. So you have moved up from the state of tamas to rajas when you come to this. Vedanta always assumes you are already in the state of rajas and is talking to you from there. Now that you have possessiveness and anger, you have to direct this towards sattva so that your care does not involve possessiveness and anger. When you're able to remove these two things from the care, then it becomes real care. So they call it real care because their point of comparison is tamas. Like you're in college, for instance. Okay, somebody comes to college, doesn't come to college. Nothing goes of yours, mera kya chata hai, you know. But there's somebody who are keenly interested in. Now that person comes to college or doesn't come to college makes a difference. Right? So the indifference has turned to rajas. Got it? So it fits because it's the movement from tamas to rajas. It doesn't fit because Vedanta is usually talking of the movement from rajas to sattva.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Right. So when the light of wisdom streams forth with perceptions, actions, when the actions are showing the light of wisdom, they are
unselfish actions.
they are unselfish. What else are they?
Efficient.
They're efficient. What else are they? They're effective, they're productive. You may be doing something unselfish. You may be doing it efficiently also, but कोई result ही नहीं आ रहा उसका. Then that is not considered sattvic because
It is not resulting in anything good.
it shows no application of the intellect. Sattva always has to apply intellect, right? So it can't be that you're doing and getting no result. Then why are you doing the same thing when you're not getting a result? Like how we always put things on social media, thinking that, oh, social media is a great thing. Things go viral. Abhi tak kuch viral gaya hai kya? Has anything from social media ever given us any result? But हम लोग करते रहते हैं. Mahesh used to be very disappointed with his emails. For the last 20 years, Mahesh has been sending out emails. 20 years. Religiously every Saturday, come hail or high weather. And in the initial years, he used to get very frustrated. He used to say, what is the use of sending this email? Nobody's reading the emails. Okay, but now after 20 years, he has stopped saying that. He has given up now. He's doing his job. That's it. But some results now, little you're getting. You're getting little result, no, from your email, Mahesh, nowadays. A little bit. Some tiny bits. Kuch to.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy. Sometimes
Okay.
there are, sometimes there aren't.
Okay. So
But I
please,
mean, the open rates have increased, so it's now 20%. So
Okay, very good. So please, everybody, all can help him by at least opening the email when he sends it to you. At least open it. And then, if possible, take some action. So the thing is, we have to keep on asking ourselves the question that what I am doing, is it bringing any result or not? Now we are doing all this fund collection, fund collected zero. So now what? We should do something else, right? Come up with some new ideas. Bharat, we'll also get social media results in 20 years, God willing. I hope so, Bharat. But let us find newer methods and better methods, and I don't know what we can do. So, all the time applying yourself, not becoming mechanical about the action you're doing, having this beautiful quality of registering something in this world called dates. Do you even realize how significant a date is in this world? They tried to make it significant by putting birthdays and death days and all that. That is not really significant. What is significant is you started doing some action. What date did you start? What is the date today? What is the outcome of that action? Otherwise, 30 years we'll go on doing the same thing, koi result hi nahi hai. But we are doing it. So these dates are extremely significant. Write down, begin. Okay, I started doing yoga in 1947. I am still 300 kgs. Maybe I should do something else now. Some date should be there now, starting date, current date, anticipated date. That is how you you make yourself more efficient by understanding how long should something take and have I given that thing enough time? Because if I have given it enough time, then doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of
Madness.
Insanity.
insanity. Right. Yes, Mahesh. You are muted, Mahesh.
I just wanted a clarification on this. If you do something and you're not getting results, are results the benchmark of right action? Because I thought right action did not focus on results; it focuses on the action. You don't have right to results, so how does that work? If you're going to take results as the benchmark for right action, then it goes against the fact that you don't have right to results. How does that work?
Yes, that is the whole problem with philosophy. One day, if you say, "Oh, I'm resigned to get results," they'll say, "Why you worried about results? You focus on the action." Then you start focusing on the action. You don't get results. They'll say, "What kind of stupid action is this? You got no results." That process is a problem. So let's understand it properly. How do you decide that that action was a right action? That action has to be right because the intention is right. The action is right if the goal is achieved. Because why did you do that action? To attain the goal. If the goal is not achieved, what is the point of that action? And thirdly, if you have done all that you possibly could, then the result doesn't matter. But 9 out of 10 times, we have not yet done all that we could possibly do. And hence, we have to use the goal, the result as the yardstick. You have to ensure that you have left no stone unturned. Who will you do that? By asking yourself, has the result been obtained? What other way will you do it? Then the other thing is time. How much time do you think it will take? Take, for instance, getting our society familiar with Vedanta. Okay, at one point was completely gone. Now we have to get it back, familiarize our society with it. How many years do you think it will take? Suppose it's gone, okay? How many years will it take? And I would say that it would take at least 200 to 250 years. Would you agree with that? It's gone and we have to put it back. So of those 200 and 250 years, because generations have to die before the seeds will show. When is this 200 or 250 years starting? What is the starting date? You have to think about this. Now you think, where do you think we start this process from? Who are the people who are working for it? Who are the people? So you go backwards, there's Swamiji. You go further back, there's Swami Chinmayananda. You go further back, there is Swami Vivekananda. These people who are all working towards it. Now, many generations have gone by, right? From Vivekananda, Swami Ramatirtha, Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Parthasarathi, and now we have come to us, right? So that 200-year period is almost coming to an end, right? Because let's say you started in 1890, 1990, correct, no? 2090.
2009.
Huh? No, 2000.
2009.
Yeah. So like this, we are coming to the end of that period at the moment. So we are positioned at the moment in a really good place, right? And if from this position, we meaning not the people in this class, the people all over the globe who are currently working for Vedanta are very well positioned. And there are many of us doing this work all over the world. We are in a great position because we come on the backs of all these great people who already done all this. So we are in a wonderful position to get it really going and getting our people means all of humanity involved in this subject, directly or indirectly. Now at this stage, if we don't do enough, or we say, no, I'm working for a long time, but nothing has happened, we're not seeing it in the full perspective. So if you're starting in 1970, you have to anticipate that you will be dead before, no, 1970, sorry, in 1870, you have to anticipate you'll be dead before any result is seen. You and I, as we stand here today in our 50s now, will we see any result in our lifetime? What do you say? Or shall we leave the results to Bhavna and Jayashri and Deep Raj, for these people to be able to see the results? Right? So you have to see all this in the perspective of time. If you don't see things in the perspective of time, you don't know what's going to happen. Right? So does that answer your question? Do you see results or not? Yes, you see results, but you see them in the perspective of time. What does it mean then that you shouldn't see results? That means when you are actually doing the work, you forget about it and focus on the work. But your understanding must include the time frame. Does that help you at all?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very grand thing about people, taking to Vedanta over a period of time. That's a very grand project. What I meant is in everyday life, since if you're doing, say, for example, my emails going out, I've been doing it and, we got mixed results, but not consistently good. So, I mean, in the sense, so do I, how do I view that? I mean, do it? I can say that, okay, now I'm not getting perfect results. So, I mean, do I say that it is something I do without, sort of, I mean, basically is the result a benchmark of how good my action is? That's the question.
It is one of the
so do I?
It's one of them.
Yeah,
Result
that's
is
the only
there,
thing.
intention
That's
is
the only
there,
thing that
time.
you don't have a right. You don't have right to results. So how does that work? I mean, if results is a benchmark and you don't have a right to results, I wasn't sure how to reconcile that. I mean, you don't have the right to results. So if I use results as a benchmark of something which I don't have a right to, then I mean, I'm not sure how that works. That's my confusion.
Yes, but you have
Forget
to, at
it
some
could be
stage, stop repeating the confusion and listen to the answer also. 10 times if you
Okay.
repeat the confusion, you're not going to know more about it. There are three things or multiple things that you have to consider. You have to consider your intention. That's your first one. Then you have to consider the result. Have you obtained it? Then you have to consider the time frame in which the result is to be expected. If a lady is supposed to have a child, all right, and it's 3 months now, she's pregnant, and she says, oh my God, I haven't got a child yet. Well, you're going to have to wait for 9 months. Sorry. There's nothing you can do at this stage. You just keep doing whatever you're supposed to do. In 9 months, you will have a child. So that way, you have to know your time frame. What time frame are you talking about? Now, it's not so confusing. It's confusing because we are just over intellectualizing it. You see your own activity, right? What do? You write a program, okay? And then the program has bugs. And then you fix those bugs. And then your program works. That's what you do, right? That's what you're doing all the time. Now, that the program works, is it within your control or not within your control? It is, right? As long as you go around fixing all the bugs, the program is within your control. But let us say for some reason, one day internet itself is down. Now what are you going to do? You can't do anything. That's that. So it's not so complex. It's like commonsensical. You get it if you just put it on a practical level.
Okay.
The okay you people give is so
So no,
depressing.
what I meant was that suppose you get the results, but you do it by devious means, maybe.
So did
So that's
Krishna
not
use
so.
devious means? Listen, did Krishna use devious means? Do you think that the means he used were devious? You need to do
Some
what you
work.
need to do. Yeah, you need to do
Okay.
what you need to do. I mean, how is Chanakya going to win the war if he doesn't practice Chanakya Niti? He's not going to win the war. He did not get into the war if he doesn't want to do that. Can you be a politician and be completely overboard? You cannot. Don't get into politics if you don't want to do that. Because that's the game you're playing. You must know
Because
what
some
game
people
you're
say
playing.
that results are everything. So
Results are?
results are everything. Like some people have that view that you just get the results. I don't care how. That's not correct, right? Or is that okay?
Depends on why you want those results. There are three things: intention, time, result.
Okay.
So I want somebody dead. I will do whatever it takes to defeat the guy. Well, then it's a very selfish action. I want my country to rise, and I will do whatever it takes to make my country rise. Different thing. Why are you doing it?
Okay.
What is the point and purpose?
Okay.
Your purity is known by your intention.
Okay. So as long as the intention is good, it's okay. It's good to have the intention has to be sort of kosher. Otherwise, time and so you can't have a devious say I'm working in a company and I want to get a promotion and I do all sorts of things just for that, but I do get the results because that's what's needed. That's not right action, right?
That's not
I'm
right.
doing it for my promotion.
No, we are not passing value judgments. That is not a noble action. It is not a sattvic action. It is not, we are not saying right or wrong here. If your action takes you to your goal, it becomes right action. Right? But is it an action that we are learning to do? No, we're not learning that. We are learning that the two pillars of Vedanta, as you have heard a million times, are what
Two
are the
pillars
two
of
pillars
Vedanta?
of Vedanta? A Vedanta action stands on two pillars, and these two pillars are, please don't do this. Everybody in this class are old students. Come on, two pillars of a Vedantic action are always, ऐसे नहीं करो मेरे साथ, मेरा
Just answer, Krish.
what? What did you say?
Abhyas and Vairag.
No, in context, of course, like that we can say many things.
Unselfishness and use of intellect.
Very good. Thank God. किसी को तो पता है इस क्लास में. The two pillars that we stand on. We as human beings, we as individuals, we as an institution, we as Vedanta students, these are two pillars we stand on. Goodness and good sense. These are the two things. You miss one of them, you are in trouble. Your edifice will fall. If you cannot be good, you will never be happy. And if you cannot apply your discrimination, you will not be happy and you will not achieve results. If you are good, you will be happy and you have some chance of getting the result because out of your goodness itself, you will get something. But these are your two pillars. You cannot say, I'm going to remove one of them. Because if you remove one of them, the edifice will not stand. So, goodness and good sense. If we have to put all of us, whatever we are doing, into one final phrase, तो क्या सीख रहे हम लोग? Goodness and good sense. Purity and discrimination. This is only different words for the same thing. As people,
Yeah, I mean but then Krishna's deviousness is okay. I mean, Krishna's
Not
deviousness is
deviousness.
okay then. I mean,
No, did
Okay.
he do it to get a kingdom? What does he get by winning the war? What did he get? His whole
Okay.
family is destroyed. What does he got? What personal motive did he have in this whole thing? Okay, Pandavas win the war, Kauravas win the war. What happened to Krishna? He goes back home. So where is their deviousness when there is no personal motive at all? Zilch. And between Pandavas and Kauravas, why did he choose Pandavas? Not because he loved them more, because he felt justice was on their side. So how is any of this devious then?
because I mean, we often say, I'm sorry, we are stretching this a lot, but just the last thing we say that, the actions of Rama and Krishna are very different because of sort of the circumstances they were in. But what Krishna would do, Rama would probably not do. We do say that he was more of a Maryada Purushottam, as well as Krishna, we say, has broken all Maryada, in that sense. So is there any difference between the two and their actions?
Well, there isn't, truly speaking. But, all this is of allegorical significance. So, Maryada Purushottam is the path and Krishna is the goal. Maryada Purushottam is what we practice. Krishna is what we achieve. You stick to the path of discipline and eventually you attain complete freedom. You're free of that discipline. You are doing that discipline to gain control of yourself. Having gained control of yourself, that discipline is no longer necessary. For instance, a child is told, don't touch the switchboard. But an adult is free to touch it in whatever way they want. But that adult is told you can't enter the electric or whatever room because his knowledge doesn't go up to that point. So when you live the life of discipline, you achieve a status of being free from that. You're no longer bound by those rules anymore. Now, because people like you will ask this question. Yes, correct, Omkar. I'm just about to come to that. Because people will say, oh, see, Rama is better than Krishna. There is one instance in the Ramayana, or one instance in Rama's life, where he did the same so-called deviousness that Krishna used, because the circumstances required that. He stood behind the tree and killed Vali. Because Vali had a boon that anybody who faced him in battle, half the opponent's strength will go to Vali. So there's no way you can fight the guy. That's the boon he had asked for and obtained. So the circumstances were such that if you had to get rid of this negative person, you just couldn't face him. So you're right, Omkar. Rama stood behind the tree and killed Vali. So
this is goodness anyway, right?
Of course.
Because, okay.
It's goodness because its intention is good.
Janki-ji, I'm not sure if I'm quoting Gandhiji or somebody else, but there was a very strong insistence on sadhana shuddhi, not just the goal, but even the means have to be shuddha. What is that?
That means you can't just take shortcuts. You know, it's very easy sometimes, right? You just you're bringing up Manit, and Manit is a small child. And, you can sit with him and make him do the right things. Or you can shout at him and force him to do the right thing. So you have to have sadhan shuddhi. You cannot just, because you are an adult and he's a small child and you can just shout at him. That's not acceptable. However, there are certain conditions under which, like in English, what they say, the end does not justify the means. You cannot just do it saying, oh, my intention was good. I'm not sure about this 100% because I never know all these things. So do not take that from me. I'm told that Sanjay Gandhi used to catch hold of people even on their way to their marriage and do nasband. I do not know whether this is true or false. I'm not expressing this as a historical idea because I have no idea about it. But if this be true, that that's what he did. He took all the young men and made them go through nasbandi, vasectomy, whatever. Then you can't say, no, our country required a lower population and he did this. No, you can't. China adopted the one-child policy, and women who were in their 8th month also were forced to abort. You can't do these things. It will come back to haunt you. Okay, so it is obviously not the first thing you do. Remember Krishna, he did not do deviousness first. First, what did he do? He did everything in his power to prevent the war. He showed his power in the court, remember, when they could not derobe Draupadi. They should have understood at that time, I'm fighting with the wrong guy here. He's done everything. Previous to the battle, he himself went to the court and pleaded with them through logic, through emotion, that do not go through this war. We are willing to compromise. Everything he did. You know what Duryodhana said, I will not give you enough land to rest on the tip of a needle. All this went on. And then once you've gone into war, now that's that. What can you do? You do everything to prevent the war, which he did. Please note, he didn't start with doing nakra. He did everything possible to prevent the war. He couldn't. It couldn't be done. But once you've decided, to pick up the dand, now you have to go for it. You don't pick it up.
Is it goodness or unselfishness? Unselfishness is what's required, right?
Yeah,
Because
depending on
goodness
how
is
you're
a bit
using the word.
tricky. I mean,
We like to use the word unselfishness to mean purity as well as intellect. Because we think that if you're doing something based on likes and dislikes, it's automatically selfish. So it just depends on how you're using these words.
so if I do it for getting my promotion, is that okay? How does that work? If I do it only for getting a promotion, then
Let's
is
finish
that
with
good?
Omkar.
Right.
Let's finish with Omkar, then we will come back to you. So Omkar, are you okay?
Yes.
Now, if you do it for your promotion, it's a selfish action. If you do it for the welfare of the company, it's a unselfish action. Now, how by your getting promotion will it be unselfish for the company? Because these other guys, are crooks and criminals, and they should not be heading the company. So you find somebody who's efficient enough to do it. In this case, it happens to be you. It may not be you.
No, what I meant was, I do it for myself. So it's a selfish action, but I get the result. Okay, so it's both good and selfishness, because then there is, if I do use devious means for a selfish action, I mean, I want to get my promotion, and I know that the boss writes results, so I get results. They may be by devious means. So that is not recommended, because it is selfish, which is neither unselfish nor is it sort of ethical or good or whatever.
Same.
So both
We're not dividing
there.
Unselfishness means ethical. So if it's not unselfish, you're out on count one.
Okay.
Janki ji,
Yeah, 1 second, Milind.
same point.
Same point. Okay, go ahead.
If suppose all chamchas are there in your company and they are struggling to get a promotion, then you also be chamcha. That is the best solution, no?
Yeah,
So
but you have to be a more efficient chamcha.
Oh, okay, exactly.
Otherwise, they're all equal, right?
It's not bad thing. It's not bad thing.
And more efficient. You have to do
you overcome them. Kalas, finish, matter finish.
I don't know what this means. It's sounding deadly to me. But you have to remember the two pillars, unselfishness and clarity. These two you remember. And you do whatever you want. And I hope you will not want to do anything which is questionable. Yeah, so because the thing is, if it's not unselfish, it's not sustainable. It won't last. And then that's what's happening, right, in Gaza and Israel. Again, I'm not commenting on these things. I do not know. But I hit you, you hit me. I hit you 2 times more, you hit me 3 times more. I hit you 5 times more, you hit me 7 times more. What Gandhi said, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So you have to think this thing through. You have to know 2 steps ahead. Hamas attacked Israel. Or well, they bombed whatever they did. And then all this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, when Hamas attacked also, it's not just in a vacuum, right? Things have happened before. This is going back and forth, back and forth. And you'll go on till eternity. Until, I don't know, millions of people are dead. And we are sitting here in so blessed a way that we can discuss the purity of Vedanta. Can those people anywhere in Israel or Gaza think about these things? Because what? One does another to another to another. I mean, it's become a matter of survival. Children have lost their childhood. People have lost their families. I mean, where are we taking this back to? Are we taking it back to when the British suddenly decided that or the UN suddenly decided, or whoever suddenly decided that that patch is meant for Israel. And then did they even keep to that patch? Or did they increase that? I mean, how far back will you go? So if we are not very careful, we start a train of actions that lead to repercussions in the future. For instance, when Nehru did not take back, again, I'm only repeating what I have heard. I do not know the facts of this, right? You don't please learn history from me. I'm not a history person. I'm not a politics person. Do not learn these things from me. I'm talking about a philosophical idea. I believe that when India won the war against Pakistan, a certain portion of our land continued to be occupied by Pakistan. Nehru, instead of finishing the job and taking that back, he said, I'll go to UN. One call, right? And we're still bearing the consequences of it. Had we gone in, there obviously it was war, right? You're going to kill people. You're going to kill people. People would have died had he gone in. But how many more would have been saved in the future generations? So you have to think this thing through. You have to think things through. I don't know whether the example is correct or not, because I'm not talking about the example. I'm talking about how actions lead to consequences, and those consequences can be 100 years hence. It need not even be immediate consequence. You need an intellect to figure that out. So if you want to be safe in life, stay on the side of virtue. Stay on the side of goodness. Because you take any strange acts, you don't know where they're going to reach. So it's just a matter of precaution, that staying within the moral boundaries given to us 9 out of 10 times is a good idea. There may be occasions where you have to walk in and sort of break it, but stay within. Jai Shri. Periodic check to our action backed with the intention one started. Yes. And time. 3 things. Bombing. There's a challenge. That is a challenge in our state of rajas. Are we being noble or cowards? We create so many arguments for what we want to do anyway. Yes, Momita. That is our challenge. And that is not only our challenge, it is our grinding stone. If you didn't have this, what would you apply your intellect to? So it's like that knife, that guy used to carve. I don't know if they come anymore. That grinding stone. You remember? It used to come and then you have to put your knife on it. And then it's a rough stone. And then that knife gets sharpened. So similarly, because we have these challenges and you apply your intellect to it, the intellect gets sharpened. But mostly we get carried away with the mind. So if nothing else, we have to stay alert. We have to be able to course correct. We have to say, okay, I did that wrong. So saying sorry, for instance, is one of the biggest things on the spiritual path, because you got it that you did it wrong. Many people, especially in India, it's not a habit for us to say sorry here. Okay, I did that wrong. If you can say, that's fantastic. Because if you can say this much, then hopefully you won't do any more of that stuff.
So in that sense, Jankaji, virtue is a science, because moral science, as they used to call it.
Of course.
Because it keeps us safe from, people before us have already shown us the path. So now this whole debate between this is not scientific, what is the background, moral policing and all that.
Yeah. At every stage, you have to actually use your discrimination. Is it moral policing?
Yeah, there's just a
If it
caution.
is, then yeah. If it is, then of course, how dare you? So, you have to at every situation just be willing to look at it as a dispassionate witness. That's how we sharpen the ability to think something through.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, coming back to all the gates of the body, when the emotions are shining forth and they only cause pleasure to you and to others, right? If you have negative emotions, you're agitated and you go over agitating others also. So when your emotions are such, even if negative, it can be even attachment. You agitate yourself when you agitate others. So when light streams forth from as emotions, then you're just a very supportive, very encouraging kind of person, rather than the person who says, "Oh, you did that. That's a terrible thing to do. Oh, you bought a new sari. You're so indulgent, I tell you. Arey yaar, chodo na. Somebody bought a sari or they bought something nice for themselves. They're using their money. What are you saying, making comments for? Enjoy the happiness of others. I'm a lover of happy human faces. There's Oliver Golds, which is happy that other people are happy. Light is streaming forth from the emotions. Imagine if you're happy only in your happiness, such a small bit of happiness you'll get. If you're happy in everybody's happiness, how much happiness you get? Everybody somewhere at some time is happy about something, right? मुझे भी बधाई हो. Bhavna came first in class, so we are all rejoicing. Why not? Right? Jayashree got some new title, Miss Maharashtra. Maybe she'll become Miss Punjab next. I don't know what she'll do next. No, we're all happy. Why are we not happy with everybody's happiness? So, at the level of emotions, light stripes. You are cheerful in yourself, you're happy that everybody else is happy. You're happy. You don't, like, in the child buys a new toy, you don't say how childish you are. Talk like that. Child buys a new toy, oh great, how nice, how wonderful. And the child is dancing around, you're also dancing with the child. So, knowledge, sattva, streams forth. Then you're encouraging, you're supportive, you're enthusiastic, you're cheerful. You are a pleasure to be around. You're not in passing snide comments. देखो, बहुत पैसे हो गए. बहुत पैसे हो गए तो अच्छा है ना? What's bad in that? Suppose Milind becomes a millionaire. Oh, he's a millionaire. If he's a millionaire, great. Wow, how wonderful. He studied Vedanta and became a millionaire, became a billionaire. What fun. That's the way it should be. So you're encouraging, supportive, cheerful, happy in the happiness of others. Yes, light in terms of emotion. In terms of intellect, it is very sharp discrimination. These are the two things, right? You're just so happy for others and your discrimination works as the two things. There's no confusion in the head all the time. Confused. Means intellect is not functioning. What is the confusion about? Life is so simple in some sense. When you go to the principles, it's all crystal clear. Then you just have to take the principle and apply it to a particular situation. Just like as if you are doing any mathematical thing, right? Take the formula, apply it. Simple si baat hai. If you're doing geometry, take the axiom, apply it. Ho gaya na? Now, what is the fuss about? Only thing you have to know is which formula to apply where. Itna to janna chahiye. Intellect. No confusion, no indecision, just clear and thinking. So wisdom streams forth from every part of the body, from every aspect of the personality. No, that's sattva is good. But when greed In everything, greed. Oh, you got more marks than me. You got more answers correct in class than me. I should get more answers correct. Hey, Bhagwan, mera chodo. Everything greed. Somebody gets something, you want to get more of it. Why do you want to get more of it? Because he got it. Oh, see, the very funny idea nowadays that's going around is this idea of trending. ये ट्रेंडिंग है, हर चीज में ट्रेंडिंग है. वो वीडियो देखना है, क्यों देखना है भाई? ट्रेंडिंग है. वो कपड़े खरीदने हैं, क्यों खरीदने हैं भाई? ट्रेंडिंग है. हर चीज ट्रेंडिंग ही आजकल. Now what does it mean? उसको मिला और मुझे नहीं मिला, ये कैसे हो सकता है? So that greed is there in everything. Activity, running like a chicken without a head. कुछ सोचना ही नहीं है, काम करना. Yes, FOMO. Undertaking of works. Undertaking of works means that egocentric belief that I've started something, I'm doing something, I am this, I am that, and I am that. Ye Baba, ye behti ganga. People have come here, lived on this planet, and moved on for thousands of years. हम भी आए हैं. We will also live our life. हम भी यहाँ से जाएंगे. क्यों ये मेरा वो तुम्हारा नहीं है? क्या चल क्या रहा? For a little while, you get to enjoy the bounty of this business. Enjoy it. Enjoy it with everybody else. Because everybody has got it at that time. But this feeling that I have this ego, this nature of action is impenetrable. Yes, correct. So do not penetrate that which is impenetrable, Mahesh. We cannot be greedy to answer every question. You will not be able to answer. Chalta hai. Many we are able to answer with the help of Vedanta. Then unrest, agitated, asham. Mind is never quiet. It's quiet. Nothing much to it, right? Just be quiet. Mind cannot be quiet. Unrest, longing. How much we crave, how much we long for something, as if we are so sure that if I had that thing, I would be an entirely happy person. And never do we get it. That guarantee is simply not available. I may get it or I may not get it. Having gotten it, I may be happy to having gotten it or not. If you sat in my position and you heard the stories that I hear, you would not even need to study Vedanta. Because it's so clear. People are longing. Most simple example is somebody is longing to marry somebody. And then finally they marry that person. Okay, after so much. Then after some time they're longing to leave that person. Arey, both ways. So before do we not get it that just by this action, I am not going to achieve happiness? Don't I get this? It's not done in this manner. There are people longing to go to the US. Somehow they manage to go there. And having gone there, what amount of complaints? What are you complaining about? You wanted it, right? And you drove everybody nuts till you reached there. No, you're complaining. I mean, they don't think they're complaining. They are complaining. That's how it is. So when Rajas predominates, Rajas doesn't require a lot of explanation. We understand Rajas. So when Rajas predominates, that's what happens. Then what happens when Tamas predominates, which we have been trying to do? Shall we at least chant the verse this time? So that at least we can move forward next time. Oops, it's 11:30. Sorry. We do not have time to chant the verse. So let us do what happens when tamas predominates next class. Okay, so wish you all a very happy new year. I hope you take up many noble ideals and work